live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening. You're watching the National News broadcast live on Sri Lanka Rupavahini. My name is Chaga Kamage.
I'm Dilanjali Ananda and these are the headlines. Shriranthi Rajapaksa to FCID regarding the Siralia deal. Nama Rajapaksa also visits the CID. Several special high courts to clear court cases expeditiously. Fast unto death protest by the school development officers ends. Samudika Jayaratne appointed as the government Auditor General. No assistance to the strike of the GMOA, says the Association of Consultant Physicians. All arrangements in place for the 78th National Independence Day celebrations with special security and traffic plan. Exposition of sacred relics of Lord Buddha to be brought from India tomorrow at Gangarama Viharaya. A new trade agreement between USA and India. Now for this and other stories in detail. Shriranthi Rajapaksa, wife of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, visited the Police Financial Crime Investigation Division in the morning today. She left the Police Financial Crime Investigation Division after recording a statement for about 3 hours. Shriranthi Rajapaksa was called to the FCID regarding an investigation pertaining to a deal of Siralia voluntary organisation. Parliamentarian Nama Rajapaksa also visited the Criminal Investigation Department in the morning today. He left the department after recording statements for about 4 hours. He has been called to the CID regarding an investigation being conducted related to his connections with Kehel Badra Padme, an organised criminal.
Meanwhile, Cabinet Media spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that several special high courts will be initiated to clear the backlog of cases swiftly. The minister expressed these views during the Cabinet News briefing with regard to the questioning of Shriranthi Rajapaksa and Nama Rajapaksa. Cabinet Media spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that Shriranthi Rajapaksa was summoned for questioning regarding the Srilia Savia account. He clarified that officials did not visit her residence to record a statement. Rather, she was required to appear in person. He also mentioned that Nama Rajapaksa appeared before the Criminal Investigation Department to provide a statement concerning his alleged connections with Kehel Badra Padme. The spokesman indicated that several other politicians are scheduled to provide statements as investigations into underworld figures, including Kehel Badra Padme, continue to yield new information. He confirmed that Prasanna Ranatunga has already provided his statement. Dr. Jayatissa observed that some individuals have sought to delay their appearances by several weeks. To expedite these matters, the government has appointed additional officers to assist with the investigations and sought international assistance through diplomatic channels to uncover special information. They provided necessary support to the Attorney General's Department to ensure cases are filed swiftly to address the backlog of cases while maintaining judicial independence. Dr. Jayatissa announced the functioning of special high courts. He stated that the government has provided the necessary buildings and facilities, and the next step involves appointing judges and scheduling dates to accelerate the legal process. The spokesman criticized that in the manner in which some accused individuals arrived at the CID, nothing that Nama Rajapaksa arrived accompanied by a crowd. He suggested that such political shows are attempts to exert undue influence on the legal process. Dr. Jayatissa emphasized that every citizen is equal before the law and should cooperate with investigations simply as ordinary citizens rather than turning the process into a public demonstration.
The fast unto death by the Ceylon School Development Officers Association ended today. According to the association, they have received a positive reply from the President during the negotiations. A meeting between the representatives of Ceylon School Development Officers Association and the President was held in the morning today at the President's office. The representatives stated that they are faced with a number of professional and social problems at present, although neither the present government nor they are responsible for the present problems. After an extensive discussion regarding the problem, the President stated that it is the objective of the government to safeguard the professional pride of everyone. The President pointing out the expectation of the government is to absorb graduates with experience in schools as teachers, also invited them to appear for an examination as per the Teachers' Constitution. Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanatkumar Nayaka, and a number of officials joined the occasion. Secretary of the Ceylon School Development Officers Association, Viraj Manaranga, said that they have established their background as teachers and that children, parents and their own life plans recognize them as teachers. He mentioned that it is difficult for them to cope if this identity is suddenly changed, even leading to potential loss of life. He explained that they perform all government duties, not just those listed in a teacher's appointment letter. He noted that they do not wish to harm the system and suggest that the President could evaluate or train them. President Anurakumar Disanayake promised to create a method to recruit them legally so that no further obstacles or court cases arise in the future. He suggested that a certain number from the group of 16,000 can be recruited legally by having them to sit for an examination. The President took responsibility for ensuring that no one from the remaining group will be removed from the schools. Secretary of the Ceylon School Development Officers Association, Viraj Manaranga, said that due to the promises given by the President, including fulfilling the teachers' dream and making all of them permanent staff, and the fast unto death that took place in front of the Presidential Secretariat for 9 days has been temporarily called off. He noted that this decision was made out of trust in the Executive President's decision. He expressed hope that the Secretary of Education and other officials will act as the President stated following successful discussions. Minister Bima Ratnayake also expressed his views in this regard in the Parliament today. Minister Bima Ratnayake said that members of the opposition went to great lengths with the opposition leader even being prepared to give blood for the sake of the development officers. He thanked the President for saving the opposition leader from that blood-donating act by reaching an agreement with the development officers. He claimed that some in the opposition leader's own party were against him and that certain people tried to use the development officers for political gain without actually caring about their pain or problems. He emphasized the need to build a country with standards and laws, changing the state service, which he claims as previously a heaven for henchmen. He criticized past practices where letters from politicians were used for university admissions bypassing the UGC. He highlighted that for the first time in 50 years, the current Prime Minister and Education Minister have not issued a single letter to recruit anyone based on political favorism during their 14 months in office.
The Constitutional Council has unanimously approved the nomination of Samudika Jayaratne, Senior Deputy Auditor General of the Auditor General's Department, for the post of Auditor General. The decision was reached during a meeting of the Constitutional Council held at the Parliament premises today, presided over by Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne. President Anurakumar Disanayake had submitted Samudika Jayaratne's name to the Constitutional Council for the post of new Auditor General. The Speaker's office announced that the Council granted its unanimous approval for the nomination. Samudika Jayaratne joined the Auditor General's Department in 2003 as an audit superintendent. She is a senior officer with over 22 years of experience within the department. A graduate with a Bachelor of Commerce special degree from the University of Sri Javadanapura, she also obtained her postgraduate degree from the same university. A member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, she is said to make history as the country's first female Auditor General. She is scheduled to be appointed as the 42nd Auditor General of Sri Lanka.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri says that measures will be taken to continue studies of this year without causing any injustice to grade 6 children. She said this in response to a question raised in Parliament today. Parliamentarian Nalin Bandara inquires about information suggesting that all modules introduced through the educational reforms have been removed. He asked the amount of money spent on the modules that were removed and whether there is a plan to recover that loss. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya clarified that textbooks and modules are two different things. She explained that the books have already been printed and distributed. Regarding the proposed reforms, she noted that only the modules for the first term of grade 6 were printed. She said that all of them were not rejected nor removed, stated they plan to implement them in 2027. She mentioned that there was an issue with one specific module and they have already decided on the steps to correct it. MP Nalin Bandara said that grade 6 students currently have neither textbooks nor modules. He suggested that grade 6 students are unable to attend school or go on the road due to this issue. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya asserted that grade 6 students have no problem attending school or going on the road because they have not done anything wrong. She reported that the opposition members are the ones who cannot go on the road because of the damage they have caused. She confirmed that grade 6 textbooks are currently printed, stored and being distributed. The Prime Minister expects all textbooks to be distributed by mid-February. She noted that teachers have already started teaching since it follows the old syllabus. She concluded by stating that they will ensure no injustice is done to the children and that all necessary steps are being taken for their education this year.
Now, the Association of Medical Specialists says that no support will be extended to the strike action taken by the Government Medical Officers Association. Secretary to the Medical Specialists Association, Dr. R. Gnanasekharam, says that they are carrying out the duties at the hospitals as usual. Dr. R. Gnanasekharam said that although a trade union action is currently being implemented by the GMOA, none of their members will support this strike. He said that they will perform their duties as they have done normally until now. They are not involved in this strike. The reason of the not joining the strike is that the association firmly believe any problem can be solved through discussion. Dr. R. Gnanasekharam said that they have strong confidence that problems can be resolved by negotiating with the government. Several patients said hospital services continued without disruption despite reports of a health sector strike. Patients said that clinics were open as scheduled and that they were able to undergo required blood tests and receive prescribed medication without difficulty. Some said they had contacted the hospital in advance due to travelling from distant areas and were satisfied that the services were available when they arrived. They further stated that medical staff attended to patients efficiently, medicines were issued as usual and there were no delays or inconveniences. Patients emphasized that there was no strike action affecting services and that hospital operations were functioning normally. Now, as preparations are underway to celebrate the 78th Independence Day with great pride, there are various unique historical events associated with it.
This is the story of a unique painting related to those events. After the administration of Sri Lanka, which was a part of the British Empire, was officially handed over to the country on 4th February 1948, a series of celebrations were organized to mark the occasion. The main ceremony was planned to be held on a grand scale at Independence Square in Colombo to officially proclaim Sri Lanka's independence and hand over the relevant documents. Representing King George VI of Britain, the Duke of Gloucester arrived in Sri Lanka for the ceremony. However, at that time, there was no suitable assembly hall for the dignitaries to gather for the handing over or receiving of documents. At that moment, a proposal was made to convert an aircraft hangar located in Torrington into an assembly hall. Accordingly, this task was entrusted to Hapugoda Rankothage Premaratna, who served as the head of the then government Public Works Department. Premaratna, who carried out the task reflecting traditional cultural heritage, made a single request for himself to his subject minister at the time, Sir John Kotalavala. The request was to be allowed to paint the ceremony while being present at the Iveru. He was granted that permission. It is reported that many local and foreign photographers and filmmakers joined to record Sri Lanka's first Independence Day celebrations. However, only black and white films was in use at the time. Therefore, so that future generations could witness the splendor of the colourful ceremonial hall, he created Premaratna Rankotake, produced a large-scale vibrant oil painting. Since colour photography facilities were not available in the country in the past, this oil painting stands as the only eyewitness evidence we have in colour regarding how the Independence Day ceremony was held. In this painting, one can see the Duke of Gloucester and his Duchess, representing the British Crown, seated along the group of dignitaries, including the first Prime Minister of independent Sri Lanka, D.S. Senanayake. It is mentioned that decades later, J.R. Jayawardena, upon becoming president, purchased this painting and placed it on display at the President's house in Colombo.
Now, sacred relics of Lord Buddha brought to this country from India tomorrow will be on exposition at Hunupitiya Gangarama Viharya from 5th to 11th of this month. This has been considered as a strong symbol of long-standing friendship, peace and common spiritual heritage between Sri Lanka and India. There will be a special security arrangement for the exposition of sacred relics of Lord Buddha at Gangarama Viharya, according to police.
We, the Sri Lanka police, have made very special security and traffic arrangements during the sacred exposition of the sacred relics brought from India. And therefore, we, the Sri Lanka police, urge all devotees to follow the traffic and security plans that have been adopted during this period. In view of this sacred exposition, a special security arrangement and a traffic management plan will be implemented in and around Gangarama temple premises during the above mentioned period. Since the sacred exposition remained open round the clock, please, we request the public to cooperate with all security measures that have been taken, and all locals and foreign devotees are very much expected to be more vigilant with your personal valuable belongings as well. The drivers who do come to these areas should drive responsibly, and if you need any assistance, guidance, you should seek or talk to the police officers who are always around the premises. And the Sri Lanka police round the clock will be available to assist you. And when parking is concerned, you are hereby directed to park your vehicle only at the designated parking areas. And all devotees are very kindly requested that we will not use your mobile phones within this sacred chamber. And also, please do refrain from bringing mobile phones and jackets, helmets, any electronic device or bags into the temple premises. And also a directive that when you enter the temple, please do follow the Buddhist traditions as well. To make things more easier, and also for the benefit of the devotees, we have organized a very special shuttle service. That is to say, this special shuttle bus service will operate towards the Gangarama temple round the clock.
The Indian High Commission in Colombo has issued a special release on the exposition of sacred relics of Lord Buddha. The sacred relics originated from Devnimori archaeological site located near Shamlaji in Aravalli district of Gujarat. It has been inscribed in Brahmi script and Sanskrit language Dashabala Sharira Nilai, the abode of the Buddha's bodily relic. In keeping with established protocol and the sanctity accorded to the relics, they will travel with full state honours aboard a special aircraft of the Indian Air Force, reflecting the reverence with which India upholds its sacred heritage. Sri Acharya Devvrat, Governor of Gujarat, and Sri Harsh Sanghavi, Deputy Chief Minister Gujarat will lead the Indian delegation along with senior monks and other distinguished officials who will arrive with the delegation. The journey of the Devnimori relics to Sri Lanka stands as a powerful symbol of peace, a celebration of shared spiritual inheritance and a reaffirmation of the special and enduring friendship between India and Sri Lanka, rooted in centuries-old civilizational ties and mutual respect.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Chaithis announced today that the government has initiated a renewable energy resource development plan. The primary objective of this initiative is to meet 70% of the national electricity demand through renewable sources by 2030. The minister made these remarks at the press briefing on cabinet decisions today.
The plan focuses on 3 key areas, including identification and prioritization of suitable land, mapping of renewable energy resources, and establishing a timeline for the development of renewable energy parks. The roadmap, which includes floating solar power projects, also aims to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. The proposal for the Renewable Energy Resource Development Plan 2025-2030 was submitted by Minister of Energy Engineer Kumar Jayakodi. To ensure long-term viability of various community of water supply schemes, the government is moving forward with the Prajajala Abhimani program. Launched in 2021, the program has initiated 367 projects to date. Out of 175 projects currently in progress, the government intends to fast-track the completion of 48 critical projects. Consequently, the Cabinet approved the proposal presented by Minister Anura Karuna Tilaka to obtain technical consultancy services from the Mahaveli Consultancy Bureau for the period of 2026-2027. Cabinet approval has been granted to award a long-term contract to a Singapore-based company for the procurement of 5 shipments of UNL-92 petrol over the next 6 months, starting from next month. This proposal was also submitted by Minister of Energy Kumar Jayakodi. Furthermore, a proposal by Minister Professor Chandana Abeyratne was approved to construct a new 3-story building adjacent to the Sabaragamu Provincial Council complex. The project, aimed at addressing space constraints, will be funded by provincial council funds at a cost of 196.8 million rupees. It has been observed that there is a severe shortage of equipment required for the aesthetic subjects such as music, dance, art and drama within this country's school system. To enhance the quality of education and develop children's personalities, Cabinet approval has been granted to implement new project between 2026 and 2028 to provide modern aesthetic equipment. The estimated cost for this project is 1,250 million rupees. The proposal was presented by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya.
Now, Minister Samantha Widyarathna says that steps have been taken to provide the increased 400 rupee allowance of estate workers from the 10th of this month. According to him, this has been the first occasion in the history where a maximum amount of allowance has been added to the salary of workers during a short period. Minister Samantha Widyarathna said that though 4 rounds of discussions held under the leadership of the President, bringing the total number of such discussions to 39 within less than a year, they have successfully increased the daily wage of estate workers to 1,750 rupees effective from January 2026. The wages for the days worked in January, reflecting the new rate, are scheduled to be paid to the workers by February 10th. The daily wage has been increased by 400 rupees. For an employee working 25 days a month, this results in an additional 10,000 rupees per month. Over the course of 12 months, this amounts to a total increase of 120,000 rupees per year for estate workers. The minister emphasized that this represents the largest salary increase ever added to the wages of estate workers in history, achieved within a very short period.
Now, the Department of Examinations has announced that the online downloading of admission cards for the GCE Ordinary Level Examination will conclude at midnight on the 10th. The department further emphasized that this deadline will not be extended. This is O-Level Examinations is scheduled to be held from the 17th at 3,545 centres island-wide. Admission cards for school candidates have already been handed over to the respective zonal education officers. All principals are advised to collect the admission cards for their schools from the Deputy or Assistant Director of Education in charge of the subject at the relevant zone office. If there are any amendments to be made to the admission cards of the school candidates, principals must log into the department's official website www.donets.lk using their provided username and password to perform the corrections. Private candidates can make necessary amendments by visiting the website and entering their national identity card number. For any inquiries, details of the examination can be obtained through the hotline 1911, telephone numbers 0112 784208, 0112 784537, fax numbers 0112 784422, or email gceolexamsl@gmail.com. Meanwhile, the practical examinations for Biosystems Technology of the 2025 GCE Advanced Level Examinations are scheduled to be held from the 7th to the 11th. Department examination stated that the tests will be conducted at 74 centres. Admissions cards for the school candidates have been sent to their respective principals, while those for private candidates have been posted to their personal addresses. Any candidate who has not yet received their admission card can download it from the department's official website. The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The oil share in price index closed at 23,734.50 after rising by 52.82 points from the previous day's close of 23,681.68. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,597.34, up by 0.14 points from its previous close of 6,597.20. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.472 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 8.24 billion rupees with 276.90 million shares traded.
Well, moving on to weather, several spells of showers are expected across northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces today, with rain also forecast for Nuwara and Matale districts. The Met Department warns of possible thunder showers in parts of the western and Sabaragamu provinces, as well as Galle and Matale after 2 p.m. We'll be back with your foreign news right after this short break.
අටවන අභිමානවත් නිදහස් දින සමරුම් උළෙල ගොඩනැගුණු ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් චතුරස්‍ර පරිශ්‍රයේදී සජීව විකාශය පෙබරවාරි 4 වනදා පෙරවරු 7 සිට ජාතික රූපවාහිනිය.
Now we move on to news from overseas. A new trade agreement between the United States and India has been announced.
Under this new agreement, the United States has decided to reduce the previously imposed high tariff of 50% on Indian goods to 18%. Following successful discussions between U.S. President and Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a new trade agreement between the two countries was announced. Through this agreement, the United States has decided to remove the punitive duties imposed on Indian goods so far and reduce those taxes to 18%. In a post on his social media platform Truth, President Trump stated that India has agreed to remove its trade barriers and to stop purchasing oil from Russia. In return, India has agreed to purchase more American energy and technology products.
Sri Lanka's squad has been named for the T20 World Cup cricket tournament.
The squad led by Dasun Shanaka includes 15 players. The T20 Cup cricket tournament is due to commence on the 7th of this month, co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka. Pathum Nisanka, Kamil Mishara, Kusal Mendes, Kamidu Mendes, Kusal Jarit Pereira, Sharit Asalanka, Jarit Lianage and Pawan Ratnayaka have been included as batsmen in the Sri Lankan squad. Meanwhile, Vanindu Hasranga, Dunitve Lalage and Mahesh Atikshna have been called to the squad as spinners. Dushmant Shamira, Matisha Patrana and Ishan Malinga will be the paces of the team. Sri Lanka will compete from Group B in the preliminary round of the tournament. The first match of Sri Lanka will be played on the 8th of this month against Ireland at the R. Premadas International Cricket Stadium in Colombo. On the 12th of this month, Sri Lanka will take on Oman at Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. The match between Australia and Sri Lanka has been scheduled for the 16th of February at Pallekele, while the match between Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe will be played on the 19th of this month at R. Premadas International Cricket Stadium. Australian and Pakistani teams participating in the T20 World Cup cricket tournament arrived in the island last night. Pakistani team comprised of 30 in all, including players and officials. They will play from Group A in the preliminary round. In the opening match, Pakistan will play against Netherlands on the 7th of February at SCC Cricket Stadium in Colombo. Salman Agha will lead the Pakistan team. The Australian team, which arrived in the island last night, comprised 27 including players and officials. They will play from Group B in the preliminary round. Australia will play their first match on the 11th against Ireland at R. Premadas International Cricket Stadium in Colombo. The match will commence at 3 p.m. Australian team is led by Mitchell Marsh. Sale of tickets for the matches being played in the country of the tournament has commenced. In a speciality, fans arrived since morning to buy tickets. Sri Lanka Cricket announced yesterday that fans can buy tickets from counters at selected places. A person can buy a maximum of 4 tickets for a match participating Sri Lankan team, whereas 4 matches where Sri Lanka is not playing